going on, Jerome's? So, of course, the 4-8 season is not what anyone envisioned, especially the nosedive last 4 games, losing 4 in a row, lost 6 out of 7. 2 embarrassing no-call, no-shows the last couple weeks. It sort of is what it is. Now, I think at the end of the day, I think General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah as well as head coach Kevin O'Connell will be back for another season. I think barring just a complete unraveling, I think that they'll be back. I think if one is gone, I think Kwesi's gone before Kevin O'Connell, but, so generally they're going to be safe. But as HOF, Hall of Fame wide receiver Chris Cotta, told incoming rookies, you always have to have a fall guy. Right. And also, I love what Warren Sapp's looking at CC's like, Yeah. So who is going to get blamed for the season? Right. Because we see this a lot where a team has a bad season and head coach GM sort of skate by, but quietly there's a little shuffling of some assistants, whether it's a firing, whether it's a non-contract renewal, mutually agreed to part ways. Yeah, it's one of those. But we got a handful of coaches and executives who could be in the wreckage, brother. So first up, offensive line coach Chris Cooper. Now, what stinks is that on paper, on purpose, this offensive line should be good to go. Darisaw Jackson, Kelly, Fries, O'Neal, and within a couple weeks, they did have some nice games, especially when Brandel was in at center for Ryan Kelly as he was coming back from injured reserve and the concussion. But what really stands out is the lack of backup development, right? You look at Justin School, you look at Juergens, Huber here and there, you look at Walter Rouse. There's no one that's been filling in, whereas next man up that you feel really confident, especially Justin School. Right, and also Vikings quarterbacks have been pressured on 39.4% of the dropbacks, which is 5th worst in the NFL, if that qualified. 43 sacks is 3rd worst in the league. Yes, part of it is Brosmer. Yes, part of it is J.J. McCarthy getting sacked on his own, but a lot of it is the offensive line. And yes, part of it is running backs and tight ends as well. 32 offensive line penalties, which is 4th worst in the league. And maybe the most damning and indicting thing about Cooper is that Ed Ingram struggled for many years. All here with offensive line coach Chris Cooper. He goes to the Texans, automatically looks like a Pro Bowler. Garrett Bradbury has looked terrible but in the Zimmer regime, looked terrible here with the Kevin O'Connell regime and Chris Cooper. All of a sudden, he goes to the Patriots and looking eyed. Right, so I feel like that's where the rubber meets the roads. That Ingram, Pro Bowl, go from bust to Pro Bowl, and then all of a sudden Bradbury looks decent, but also just a lack of development for the backups, if that makes sense. Next up, fall guy number 2, special teams coordinator Matt Daniels. No, I like Coach Hat, and you look at the Vikings special teams metrics, they really need to subdivide those out. Like, how are your specialists looking versus how is your coverage looking, as well as return units. Separate all that out, because Will the Throw Rockard should be a Pro Bowler. Ryan Wright is looking really damn good right now as well. Plus, of course, you do have Miles Price, doing the damn thing as a return man. But coverage-wise, it's been abysmal. It's been a train wreck. So you lost the second Bears game, because Ivan Pace Jr. can't stay in his lane. And also they have 21 special teams penalties, including wiping out a 99-yard touchdown return by Miles Price. You had 21 missed special teams tackles as well. So you're averaging better than a special teams penalty and a missed tackle a game, which is not good. Of course, you're never going to be perfect, but consistently you see the third phase just letting down the Vikings in a bad spot. Right. So, Coach Hat, again, like him a lot, but could be it. Also, this one's a little bit shocking. Well, we got a couple shocking ones, but the Vikings offense has not been. Actually, we'll do Wes Phillips first. All right, so Wes Phillips, who I think Wes is staring at my soul, right? And of course, Kevin O'Connell is the quarterback whisperer, is the offensive guru, but the Vikings offense this year has been bad, just been abysmal. The Vikings offense is 28th in points, 29th in yards, 32nd in turnovers, 31st on third down, and 18th in red zone. Which is not good. None of that is good. On top of it, you do have quarterbacks coach Josh McCown, 19 interceptions by the quarterbacks, which leads the NFL by 5. Number 2 is the Dolphins with 14 and Tua. Right. So, and also you do have a spot where Brosmer, yeah, whatever. Threw 4 picks. It is what it is. But also McCarthy throwing 2+ interceptions in 3 straight games. It's no good. It's no good. Also, 26 turnovers on offense, by far the worst in the league. 5.1 net yards per attempt in the passing game is 4th worst in the NFL. So even though, yes, there's a lot of reasons for issues on the Vikings offense, if Kevin O'Connell is going to be blameless and is going to remain in power, I mean, someone could answer for how badly the offense has struggled. It could be Wes Phillips, who has definitely been standing up for Kevin O'Connell. Love to see that. Or it could be Josh McCown. And what stinks is that Josh McCown, I think, is a damn good quarterbacks coach. Just the quarterbacks for the Vikings have not performed well, and that could come down to coaching. He'll be out of a job for about 2 seconds. I think Josh McCown will be a future head coach in this league, but we'll see. And lastly, another person thrown under the bus, Ryan Grigson, right? So Ryan Grigson, former GM of the Colts, who ruined Andrew Luck. So he's been Kwesi's right-hand guy for a while, right? And Kwesi does get a lot of poop for the drafts, and should get some credit for the 2024 free agent class, but the 2025. So again, if you're a fan or if you're the ownership and you're looking at $344 million spent, yes, and some misses in free agency. You look at Allen, you look at Hargrave, some hits too. Let's call a spade. You look at Eric Wilson, you look at Jalen Redmond, etc. But also, say Sam Darnold goes and wins the Super Bowl, right? It's not another realm possibility. Say he does that with the Seahawks, or Daniel Jones and Cam Beasley and Mekhi Blackman go out and win a Super Bowl with the Colts, right? And also, you look at Ed Ingram, who got traded away, looks like a Pro Bowler. Going back to him again. If you're ownership, at a certain point, personnel, major mistakes this year. On top of drafts for the last couple of years, which have not been ideal, but given credit for the 2024 free agent class, but 2025, some of the decisions, both letting go of players and acquiring players, there needs to be someone held accountable there. And again, usually it's someone who didn't have the authority, but to please and placate ownership, media, the fans, someone's got to pay, right? And like we said, I do think that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell rightfully should remain in power for one more year, but that does not mean that there won't be someone to blame. Whether it's having a fall guy, whether it's Chris Cooper, whether it's Coach Hatt, whether it's Josh McCown, whether it's Wes Phillips, or if it's Ryan Grigson. But we'll see what happens at the end of the day. But your thoughts are thoughts. Who will be the fall guys for the 2025 Minnesota Vikings? No, they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Yeah. Let us know. Comment section. You guys are the best to do. Skull production value.